Ohio University's LGBT Center will be changing locations. Body cams catch the moment a woman slams into a police cruiser in Cleveland. And in sports, Ohio baseball is facing an in-state rival. Newswatch starts right now.
Broadcasting live from WOUB TV in Athens, this is Newswatch.
Good evening, I'm Steven Hernandez. Thanks for joining us. The city of Logan may soon be home to a medical marijuana dispensary. The Athens Messenger reports that Logan City Council passed an ordinance in 2017 prohibiting the cultivation, processing, or retail dispensing of marijuana, but now the city's Planning and Annexation Committee is recommending a repeal of the ordinance. As of now, the dispensary, named Can Ascend Alternative, has been granted a provisional license by the Ohio Board of Pharmacy to begin work. Ohio University's LGBT Center is set to be relocated to a larger and more accessible area of Baker Center. Stated in a press release from the university, the new location will be around 1,200 square feet, an increase from the current size of just 800 square feet. The new space will be designed by OU's University Planning and will renovate a portion of Baker Center's second floor gallery. As of now, there is no known time frame of when the relocation will be completed. 6 people are facing charges after a shooting in Zanesville, Ohio. The Zanesville Times reports the investigation began after a man was treated for a gunshot wound last week at Genesis Hospital, leading to the arrest of 8 people involved. A Zanesville police captain says there are no updates on the condition of the man who was shot. All caught on camera. An Ohio State police officer responding to a deadly crash on Interstate 90 got blindsided this weekend. The man involved in the initial accident is now facing charges. Tracy Carlos reports.
A father and son were trying to load a disabled car onto a trailer on Interstate 90 eastbound early Sunday morning. That's when Ohio State Highway Patrol Lieutenant Rob Gable told me 36-year-old Christopher Jackson, who was driving a Kia, drifted onto the side of the road, hitting both men and killing the father, 50-year-old James Blankenship. The Kia, now unoccupied, was hit by a vehicle which didn't stop. 2 Bracknell police officers with lights flashing arrived at the scene.
Mike, let's force it all down to 1.
But before they could, their body cameras captured this. A woman hit the cruiser, police say, pushing it into another car stopped in traffic.
The driver that struck the Bracknell officer was unable to bring her vehicle to a speed to be able to stop, and it appears that she didn't give that much of a try either. Quite often, people impaired have a slowed reaction time. In this case, there was no reaction.
This is the mangled mess that officer walked away from. He was just seconds from getting out of his cruiser when the 4th and final crash happened.
The officer struck in the patrol car and the other driver were transported to the hospital and released, but more charges could be filed. According to police, the Kia driven by Jackson was a stolen rental car. The Ohio Governor Mike DeWine and the Ohio State Highway Patrol are urging motorists to move over. Ohio law requires all drivers to move to an adjacent lane when approaching any vehicle with flashing or rotating lights parked on the roadside. If moving over is not possible, motorists should slow down and proceed with caution. Former death row inmate in Ohio is now facing 26 years to life after a federal appeals court overturned his death sentence yesterday. The Marion Star reports that 55-year-old Maurice Mason was sentenced to death in the 1993 killing of 19-year-old Robin Dennis. The appeals court ruled yesterday that he had ineffective legal help in the case. Marion County prosecutors say they didn't seek the death penalty this time in an agreement with the defense and in an effort to give the victim's family closure. The Ohio House is expected to vote tomorrow on the controversial heartbeat bill after a committee in the Republican-led House voted along party lines earlier today. Today's vote comes in after the House Health Committee altered the bill to ensure that the states allow standard medical practices to detect the heartbeat. If made into law, the bill will prohibit abortions once a fetal heartbeat has been detected. Early voting is underway in Ohio. The Athens County Board of Elections will be accepting ballots starting today through Election Day. The Board of Elections is open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. through April 26, excluding weekends, with varying timeframes after then. For full schedule, go to athens.ohioboe.com.
What a beautiful day it was outside today. Temperatures are in the upper 60s and lower 70s. Pretty much not a cloud in the sky anywhere you go. Right now in Athens, 72 degrees, humidity 20%, very dry humidity out there today. Pressure's at 29.77 inches and steady with the west-northwest wind at 14 miles an hour. All across the area, again, just gorgeous. 68 in Columbus, 68 as well in Newark, 69 in Cambridge. Look at this warm, 76 down in Ironton for our warm spot. All under mainly sunny skies, just gorgeous weather as you're going out and about today. But here are the highlights for the next couple of days. The fair weather continues for at least the next 24 hours. A taste of summer comes in later on this week, but rain is in store for the weekend. We'll talk all about that coming up in my full forecast in the next couple of minutes. Stephen, you might want to bring your umbrellas for this weekend.
I'll have it ready, unfortunately. It looked really nice today. Thanks for the weather update, Nicholas. Attorney General William Barr testified before a congressional committee earlier today, where he faced questions regarding the Justice Department's budget, as well as the release of Robert Mueller's Russia probe. In this testimony, Barr said a redacted version of the report will be released within a week, and said he will make as much of the report as public as possible.
You will recognize that I'm operating under a regulation that was put together during the Clinton administration and does not provide for the publication of the report, but I am relying on my own discretion to make as much public as I can.
Barr also said in his testimony that he intends to redact topics such as grand jury information, parts that could interfere with ongoing prosecutions, and information that could implicate those who have not been charged. There is already a new director for the Secret Service, only a day after Trump removed current director Robert Alice. White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders announced today James Murray will be the new director. He will start in May. Alice says his incoming successor is, quote, a consummate professional, end quote, and he was confident in Murray. Alice referred to Murray as the agency's assistant director of the Office of Protective Operations. I apologize, his name was Randolph previously. While the president is dealing with filling positions in his administration, he continues to threaten to close the southern border. Sources say he is also pushing to reinstate a policy that separates families. A senior administration official says a new policy called binary choice is also being considered. It would offer choice to migrant families, either stay together in detention or be split while the parents go through the legal process. Coming up, your retirement plan may be in new hands after a major bank sold one of its businesses. Plus, Congress is demanding answers from companies over how white supremacists use social media. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
WOUB is member-supported public television. Your contribution keeps WOUB available in your community. Become a member with a gift of $60 or more for access to stream more than 1,000 of your favorite PBS programs through WOUB Passport. Programs like Nature, Sherlock, and all episodes of Downton Abbey and Victoria. Pledge now at woub.org. And thank you.
This is a box that showed you a world beyond your own. It was just a box, but the world has changed, and so have we. And now the box can be almost any size or shape. And you decide what you want to explore. Anytime, any place. Break out of the box with PBS.
PBS had a special on Pearl Harbor, and once Landon started watching the show about the Arizona, he completely became fascinated.
That's Donald Stratton, and that's me.
And then his Christmas wish this year was to meet Donald Stratton, one of the survivors from the Arizona.
So good to see you, buddy.
Everything that Landon has learned from PBS, it's immeasurable.
This is for you.
Thank you, big guy.
He is living proof of the effect that PBS has had on his life.
I loved Ken Burns' series on the Civil War. It was deeply impacting. I love history. To have those stories told through these letters, through stories of love and loss, it rewrote the book on how to tell a story. When television was invented, there were a lot of people who had dreams about what it could do. I think PBS still aspires for and often succeeds at reaching the highest ideals of what television could be.
Congress demanded answers from Facebook and Google over how social media is used by white supremacists. During the hearing, YouTube had to disable comments on its live stream because of hateful and racist messages. Kristen Holmes has the highlights from Washington.
Lawmakers on Capitol Hill grilling executives from Facebook and Google in a hearing on hate crimes and white nationalism.
There is no place for terrorism or hate on Facebook.
Social media platforms criticized for their role in spreading extremist ideologies. The hearing, coming weeks after a terror attack in New Zealand that left 50 dead, was live streamed on Facebook, causing the network to announce it would ban all praise, support, and representation of white nationalism and separatism. The video then spread across Google-owned YouTube, with the platform scrambling to stem the uploads.
We are deeply troubled by the recent increase in hate and violence in the world, particularly by the acts of terrorism and violent extremism in New Zealand.
The platforms say they're aiming to remove hateful pages and videos faster.
It's a fully holistic approach that we take. We try to really leverage our technology in that space, and we're hoping to get faster.
During today's hearing, while YouTube defended their platform, they were also forced to disable comments on the live stream of the House Judiciary hearing after an influx of racist and anti-Semitic comments. The tech companies appeared alongside prominent right-wing activists and civil rights activists, all discussing the balance of protecting free speech while attempting to eliminate hate speech.
We err on the side of allowing more speech. We want to give people the voice, but we do have to draw a line somewhere.
In Washington, I'm Kristen Holmes reporting.
A new lawsuit accuses Uber of negligence in attacks against its passengers. The suit was brought on by 3 unnamed women in California. It says 9 people were sexually assaulted by, quote, fake Uber drivers between September 2016 and February 2018 in Los Angeles. In the complaint, they argued police alerted Uber about fake drivers targeting intoxicated women, but Uber failed to adequately warn passengers. Wells Fargo is retiring from the retirement business. The bank sold its institutional retirement and trust business to Principal Financial today. The unit serves 7.5 million retirement customers. It offers 401k, pension, and employee stock ownership programs. The deal is worth $1.2 billion. With the warm temperatures, people are starting to stay outside longer, but time in the sun has health consequences. That story is still ahead.
And weather-wise, we had a lot of sun overhead today, but that is all about to change as an area of low pressure moves its way towards our area for the weekend. We'll talk all about that in the next couple of minutes when Newswatch returns.
WOUB is member-supported public television. Your contribution keeps WOUB available in your community. Become a member with a gift of $60 or more for access to stream more than 1,000 of your favorite PBS programs through WOUB Passport. Programs like Nature, Sherlock, and all episodes of Downton Abbey and Victoria. Pledge now at WOUB.org. And thank you.
I loved Ken Burns' series on the Civil War. It was deeply impacting. I love history. To have those stories told through these letters, through stories of love and loss, it rewrote the book on how to tell a story. When television was invented, there were a lot of people who had dreams about what it could do. I think PBS still aspires for and often succeeds at reaching the highest ideals of what television could be.
What are you doing?
Possibilities. Your day is filled with them.
Reach up, energy in the fingertips, collapse. TVs play Downton Abbey.
And PBS helps everyone discover theirs. Anytime, anywhere.
Up in the sky, you can see it.
PBS, we're with you for life.
PBS had a special on Pearl Harbor, and once Landon started watching the show about the Arizona, he completely became fascinated.
That's Donald Stratton, and that's me.
And then his Christmas wish this year was to meet Donald Stratton, one of the survivors from the Arizona.
So good to see you, buddy.
Everything that Landon has learned from PBS, it's immeasurable.
This is for you.
Thank you, big guy.
He is living proof of the effect that PBS has had on his life.
Welcome back to Newswatch. Well, as I said earlier, it was just a gorgeous day outside today. 69 was the high in Columbus, 67 was the high in Newark, 66 was the high in New Lexington, 75 was the high here in Athens, all under mainly sunny, partly cloudy skies. Just a gorgeous day as you were out and about today, and it's all due to this ridge in the jet stream. We're in a calm area of the jet stream as well, which is why the surface winds haven't been too strong, but they are pretty gusty out there. We had a 14-mile-an-hour wind gust just at the top of the show at the West State Street Tower here in Athens. But that is overall just about it as we're talking about the weather. We had that cold front come through last night that brought in those thunderstorms. We had a couple of downpours, especially here in Athens. It was rainy night before 8 p.m., but those thunderstorms have since cleared out, and it turned out to be a really nice night last night. We have a decaying cold front coming through as well, but that won't affect us as it is decaying. But we have rain coming in for later on. We'll talk about that in a second, but first we'll get you through tonight. 62 at 8, 54 at 10, 52 at midnight. Beautiful sunset at 8 p.m. Sunsets are starting to set at 8 p.m. It's just days are getting longer as we get closer and closer to the summer solstice. Clouds will move in by 10, but they'll clear out again by midnight. It'll just be a beautiful night tonight. 43 degrees tonight, mainly clear. It'll be chilly if you're out and about past midnight, so make sure you grab a jacket. If you're out and about that late, most of you should be inside by then. Winds will be out of the north-northwest at 0 to 5 miles an hour, mainly under clear skies. All across the area, much of the same. 42 in Columbus, 41 in Newark, 41 in Cambridge, 42 in New Lexington, 43 here in Athens. Cloudy skies will stay up north along I-70, but mainly clear skies south of I-70. It will be a gorgeous night. So if you're going out and about tonight, here are some highlights. Spring has sprung. We're 10 degrees above average today. That is great weather. So it is great weather to be outside today. If you have anything to do, ride your bike on the bike path or even go out to dinner, just a great night to go out. So here's your morning planner. 46 at 8, 56 at 10, 58 at noon. Clouds move in as we go throughout the morning as an area of low pressure starts to make its way closer and closer to our area. So 64 tomorrow in Athens, sunny in the morning, cloudy in the afternoon. Winds will be out of the north-northwest at 5 to 10 miles an hour. And taking a look at the preset map for tomorrow, here's a low pressure off to the west. This is really going to strengthen as we go throughout the next couple of days. Look how deep this thing is, and this is going to dump a lot of snow, especially off to the plains. It'll just bring rain for our area. Severe weather off to the south. It'll surge warm air up into the area for Thursday. We could see highs in the 80s Thursday. The cold front will decay by the time Saturday comes, and by Monday, we'll have another warm up in store before another cool down on Tuesday. Extended forecast Friday, we have a chance of storms at 72. Look at this 80-degree high on Thursday. Just beautiful day. Saturday is going to be gorgeous as well with a high of 70 and mainly sunny skies. Stephen?
As always, thanks for the weather update. And like Nicholas said, the sun was shining today. Keeping our skin healthy and happy in the sun is a must for everyone, especially when it comes to the skin on our face. Sun damage can cause permanent spots, wrinkles, and even cancer. Meredith Wood shares tips on how to treat our faces right.
The sun is coming out and the weather is slowly starting to warm up, which means most of us will be spending more time outside. So keeping our skin safe and healthy will once again be on our minds. Tiffany Bianski, a clinical esthetician at Skin Remedy in Atlanta, says you should start 2 weeks before prolonged sun exposure with a low-grade peel.
The peel she's receiving is perfect for going into spring or summertime because it's not going to cause serious shedding or peeling. It's going to be more cellular, so she will glow without having actual flaking on the skin.
Bianski says peels help to keep any scarring or pigmentation you already have from deepening into layers of the skin. The other steps in keeping your skin happy in the sun?
Hydration, hydration, hydration. And then my fourth one is sun protection.
Applying sunscreen to moisturize skin helps it go on evenly and prevents it from flaking. Her last suggestion, steer away from using heavier moisturizers in the warmer months.
Those are going to cause congestion. They're going to get trapped in your pores. You're going to have a lot of bacteria build up, but really focusing on using serums to penetrate into the skin and keep the skin hydrated.
For today's Health Minute, I'm Meredith Wood.
Today's UV index was 5, which is a moderate level of sun exposure. An Oregon woman is unknowingly giving a special gift to the medical world. Rosie Mary Bentley died of natural causes at the age of 99 and donated her body to science. But when students at an Oregon university opened it up, they saw the woman's organs weren't where they normally are. Bentley had situs inversus with levocardia. Her vital organs were reversed. Her body had other quirks, including a lung having only 2 lobes when most people have 3. A professor says the odds of discovering a person with this reversed organs is 1 in 5 million.
Hello everybody, I'm Brian Kerp. Coming up in sports, the Ohio softball team looks to rebound from a sweep tomorrow at home against MAC rival Kent State. But right after the break, the Ohio baseball team is currently in action at Bob Wren Stadium against Ohio State. A score update of the game is coming up next on Newswatch.
This is a box that showed you a world beyond your own. It was just a box, but the world has changed, and so have we. And now the box can be almost any size or shape. And you decide what you want to explore. Anytime, any place. Break out of the box with PBS.
What are you doing?
Possibilities. Your day is filled with them.
Reach up, energy in the fingertips, collapse. TV, play Downton Abbey.
And PBS helps everyone discover theirs. Anytime, anywhere.
Up in the sky, you can see it.
PBS. We're with you for life.
PBS had a special on Pearl Harbor, and once Landon started watching the show about the Arizona, he completely became fascinated.
That's Donald Stratton, and that's me.
And then his Christmas wish this year was to meet Donald Stratton, one of the survivors from the Arizona.
So good to see you, buddy.
Everything that Landon has learned from PBS, it's immeasurable.
This is for you.
Thank you, big guy.
He is living proof of the effect that PBS has had on his life.
WOUB is member-supported public television. Your contribution keeps WOUB available in your community. Become a member with a gift of $60 or more for access to stream more than 1,000 of your favorite PBS programs through WOUB Passport. Programs like Nature, Sherlock, and all episodes of Downton Abbey and Victoria. Pledge now at WOUB.org. And thank you.
Welcome back, I'm Brian Kerp. The Ohio baseball team is back at Bob Wren Stadium for an in-state matchup. They're currently playing the Ohio State Buckeyes and are trailing 3-0 in the 4th inning. The Bobcats are trying to get back in the win column after getting swept by Northern Illinois in a 3-game series this past weekend. Entering tonight, the Bobcats hold an 8-21 overall record with a 3-6 conference record. The Buckeyes have a .500 record of 16-16, including 2-4 in the Big Ten. The Bobcats return to conference play this weekend when they host Toledo in a 3-game series. The Ohio softball team also looks to get back on the winning track. The Bobcats got swept by Central Michigan in a 3-game series. Ohio welcomes Kent State to town tomorrow. The Bobcats are currently 25-15 on the season with a 6-5 record in the MAC. As a team, Ohio is hitting .304 on the season. Katie Young leads the Cats with a .412 batting average. That's impressive. And also has 11 home runs and 27 RBIs. The Golden Flashes are 16-18, but have a 6-2 conference record. First pitch from the Ohio softball field is scheduled for 2 p.m. tomorrow. An Ohio golfer and a member of the track and field team were named this week's Ohio Scholar Athletes of the Week. Sophomore golfer Zach Crawford was named the Male Scholar Athlete of the Week. He led the way for Ohio men's golf team last week at the Butler Spring Invitational, tying for 13th overall with a 2-round total of 143. Senior Gaza Odunwaya is a thrower for the Ohio track and field team. This past weekend, Odunwaya won the hammer throw and finished second in a discus throw at the Cherry Blossom Invitational held right here in Athens. The Cleveland Indians battled the Detroit Tigers earlier today. On the second pitch of the game, Leonis Martin absolutely crushes one to the seats off Jordan Zimmerman. Now in the second, tied at 1, Brad Miller hits a laser, and that one is gone. The 2-run shot puts the Indians up 3-1. In the sixth, Indians up 3, and Jake Bowers powers one to right, and there it goes. The Indians go on to win 8-2 over Detroit. In college basketball, Texas Tech and Virginia battled out for the national championship last night. With under a minute left, Jarrett Culver ends up driving in the paint. As you can see, Tony Bennett there. Here's that play with Culver. He drives in the paint and gets that to fall. And now, with under 20 seconds left, Virginia down 3, and DeAndre Hunter knots it up at 68 to force overtime. In OT, Hunter gets the pass, and almost from that exact same spot, bang! The Virginia Cavaliers win 85-77 and are the 2019 national champions. As one postseason came to a close, another is set to begin tomorrow night. The NHL playoffs are back. The Columbus Blue Jackets are tasked with facing the best team in the league, the Tampa Bay Lightning. Game 1 of the series is tomorrow at 7 p.m. Additionally, the Pittsburgh Penguins will face off against New York Islanders. The Carolina Hurricanes will travel to our nation's capital to face the defending champs, the Capitals, on Thursday. The Toronto Maple Leafs and Boston Bruins also battle on Thursday in Game 1 of their series. I'm Brian Kerp, and that's it for sports. Back to you, Stephen.
Thanks, Brian. Tax filing deadline is a week away. For most taxpayers, Monday, April 15th is the cutoff date. Don't worry if you haven't filed yet. There's still time. Mary Maloney has some last-minute tips for procrastinators.
Time is running out if you haven't submitted your tax return yet. The IRS says mistakes can happen when you hurry to file by the April 15th deadline, which can result in longer processing times and possible refund delays. The IRS recommends filing electronically. That's because tax software can easily flag potential errors. It can also do the math for you and alert you if there's missing info. The IRS even has a free do-it-yourself software program on its website. Because of the changes in the federal tax law, people who haven't filed yet may want to hire a professional tax preparer. That's because a careless mistake could cost you a lot of money. You could get hit with penalties and charges if you use the wrong filing status or forget to report income. So pay very close attention. Proofread your tax return, check the math, make sure your social security number is correct, and verify your bank account details. If you need more time, the IRS recommends you get a tax extension, which gives you another 6 months to file. For Consumer Watch, I'm Mary Maloney.
For more tax tips, go to irs.gov/help. Now let's head over to Nicholas for the last look at the weather.
Thanks, Stephen. 64 degrees tomorrow, sunny in the morning, cloudy in the afternoon. Winds will be out of the north-northwest at 5 to 10 miles an hour. Just a gorgeous day. Looking at the precip map, we have a very deep low pressure which will bring rain into the area over the weekend, as we could see on the extended forecast. Thunderstorms possible on Friday, 72. Look at this 80-degree high on Thursday. Just gorgeous day on Thursday. A gorgeous day on Saturday as well at a high of 70. Rain comes back for Sunday with a high of 67 before cooling you off on Monday at 59 degrees. Stephen?
Thanks, Nicholas, and that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.